So yes, how are you keeping your mind right now? What does it feel like? Just maybe feeling into the metacognitive overview of your whole body-mind continuum. Just this picture, not particularizing. It's easy to kind of feel into maybe a little bit of an angsty survival mechanism, reflection in the center of your body. Just kind of open up to the totality of your body and its energy, its warmth. So welcome, you amazing awakening wonders. Good morning. So then kind of feeling into, when the question comes up, or when I ask you, can you please become present? um, Kind of look into what is it that I do or don't do. So there's maybe a little bit of a brightening, which is limited in itself, because there is no it. The clear light mind always shines a full 100%. So there's a little bit of a removal of the clouds, the bit of the limiting beliefs, and there's a subliminal, subconscious flow of thoughts that kind of bubbles along, which informs, of course, the entrenched emotional somatic resonance in our bodies, the embodiment of a biographical history. So let's breathe into that and welcome all that we are, and realizing that everything that arises is primordial intelligence, primordial wisdom. So then allowing positive mind states to flourish and negative mind states to transform, to become the inspiration of compassion in the world and skillful means. And then kind of giving up on this idea that this small place, this close-minded personal identity perspective is our only field of operations, our world, where we're always going to be and how we always will be, which is kind of a narrow, myopic contraction where in that tightness, in that compression, suffering starts proliferating. And from the Buddhist point of view, this limited experience arises due to the ignorance of what is the authentic truth. And the truth is that our mind is not a thing. From this truth, we realize that mind is a boundless open sphere of awareness. So just that phrase right there. Let's take a breath on that and take refuge in that openness. And then we can say that this represents the inseparability of space and awareness, no longer so limited, opening up. Allowing free flow. So when we look for the mind itself, we can't find anything. And then you can look, is my mind big or small? Is it inside me? Is it outside of me? Is it boundless? And if you then keep looking and not fixating and projecting, and maybe rehashing and retelling things we have learned in the past, just dropping, just opening up to the very immediacy, pulling up higher into the light, realizing I am prior to any arising of appearance or experience. So my mind is not a thing. And then we realize our identity is not something that is fixed. There isn't a subjective or personal substance in me out of which I am made, out of which I manifest moment to moment. But I actually manifest out of the unfathomable openness of being. And this manifestation, or this manifestation is too concrete, but yet vocabulary is limited. So this apparent dreamlike manifestation appears within the spontaneous streaming awakeful clarity in each moment. Spontaneous streaming awakeful clarity. Yeah. So and then the practice of natural meditation, which is this coming home to the authenticity and the truth of our lives, and not an arbitrary moment on a cushion. It's simply a habituation of abandoning all discipline. Just this spontaneous inner welling intent to stay, to sit, even if we seemingly do not get anything out of it at first, which is such a precious teaching. It is a practice of letting-go-ness, a relinquishment, and that is so healing in itself. So feel that I am here because my intent is to heal, so all those that get in touch with me will heal. And in this interconnected sea of beings, this is not a small thing. Just this little shift of us turning our hearts towards healing is the healing of one and all. And then it becomes an encounter really with mortality, with an ever-changing inevitability of loss. And in this way, this practice is somewhat of an existential therapy, a way of nurturing our hearts in accordance with the fundamental existential themes or the innate goodness in our hearts. So we're actually coming in direct contact with that innate primordial goodness in our hearts. The actual contact with Buddha nature, which is that beautiful wish for love. So when we come in touch with that and really understand the amazing tenderness of being human, and just sit with that in our openness without grasping, all difficult experiences and mind states are embraced by that innate goodness of our hearts. And then these difficult mind states transform and mature into the wish for all beings to awaken and find peace and happiness within. So that's kind of the long way of getting to setting our intent. So really feel into that. I came here into the openness of my heart, into the openness of this family of like-minded loving intent, with the wish to heal all beings. So feel into that. And don't allow the little what about me mind to inform it with, that's a bit much. Just let it flow. So indeed, so by paying attention to our own human beingness or natural awareness, we discover a very deep inherent freedom and a co-arising loving kindness. And then our hearts become a place of refuge. And, and then we welcome everything that we are. And we come to realize we don't have to slay the ego or get rid of the ego. The ego is the vehicle of loving, skillful means in the world. So the clear light mind shining and manifesting as the creativity of the Buddha mind manifesting in the world. And it then accesses or filters through the craftsmanship of the ordinary mind. Craftsmanship, expertise, technique, workmanship, craftsman, virtuosity, dexterity, all that is the awakened one in the world. And then it becomes very unique. Every Buddha in the world, the Buddha on your seat, very unique in its authenticity and craftsmanship and virtuosity of healing and creativity of healing. So needed. You are the perfect expression of the creativity of healing in the world. And since most humans have fallen asleep within their own competence, we have chosen not to, and we come to this place. So how beautiful. And then, thank you. Thank you so much. So let that gratitude arise a little bit for bringing yourself to this profound place within and in our Sangha right here, right now. So opening up to a boundless mind, not a paranoid little personal identity which is always subject to change. Let's take a breath together. To the openness of being, not subject to change, life and death. Boundless mind, its luminous lucidity, clear light nature, its knowing capacity and luminous awareness. So in this boundless openness of being, all appearance manifesting as all 2 trillion galaxies, its vital aliveness and its knowing clarity, its so awareness and saturating all space and all appearance or all experience arising within it are one unified field. So starting to live our lives from the wide open field of being. So let's practice that. That's what we do here. So first we recognize that we are this boundless open field of being, which is the view. And then the meditation, which is our lives, is sitting in the continuity of the view. That's why Tulku Urchin often repeated, the view is the meditation, the view is the meditation, the view is the meditation. And we come together to, like, maybe sometimes when we get a little insecure about, is this the view? And we, that we help each other realize that we're always in the view and that only limiting beliefs get in the way. And then the maturation of the view and the meditation is. Being the healer in the world deliberately. And every word and every action that arises from within us is pure and for the well-being of all those that we encounter. How wonderful. And thank you for waking up to your beautiful hearts. For a moment I lost my book. I and all beings are primordially Buddha. Knowing this to be true, we give rise to the awakened mind of supreme enlightenment. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. Now we chant the 3 wisdom syllables, healing syllables, resonating with Om, with the awakening of the body, and Ah, with the awakening of the breath and the energy, and Hun, with the free flow and awakening and opening up of the heart and mind, the boundless heart and mind in the world. And if chanting is not really a thing, just grunt along a bit and habituate speaking from this open, loving, boundless perspective. So come into awareness with the breath. And sound from the field of being. Om Ahung Benzar Gur Bemai Siri Hung. 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 Om Ahung Benzagur Pemai Sudi Om Aum Benzagur Pemai Sudi sound dissolving and liberating into the same space. There are thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perceptions arise and dissolve, arise and dissolve. Yet always, I'm right here. Please identify that awareness does not fluctuate. It doesn't come and go. So shine the light of awareness on whatever appears and upon itself. It knows that it knows. The unchanging, timeless presence of being and knowing. So gaze out into the field as the field of being and awareness. Saturate all space with awareness. A sphere in all directions. So awareness does not fluctuate in time and is boundless. So identify its boundless nature. Just open up. No longer confined by the skull or your anatomy, but open, open. Flow out. Mingling awareness with space, mingling space with awareness. Brilliantly awakened awareness with all the cells shimmering and activated, and every cell an expression of the whole. And then indeed, light-hearted. It's all the joy of being. thought slows down, maybe in between thought, notice it's not a blank state of mind, but it shimmers with the potentiality of creativity. Yet not holding on to a state of no thought, natural flow. Allow the mind to move. Whatever comes up is the path of spacious liberation, by letting it come and go. Whatever arises is in the healing light of awareness, becomes karmic liberation or purification. It's no longer informing subconscious psychological patterns, but actually fulfilling its purpose and dissolving in a healing way. Let's refresh with a breath if you wish. Even this feeling of a witness or agency or a meditator is a thought, even though we feel it in our bodies. So unfold awareness at the heart or at the center. Allow kind of an every awareness of being. And whatever arises in this open, spacious, every awareness perspective has no seductive qualities. Just being the loving presence of awareness knowingly. So allowing the mind to flow, yet not being distracted by its creativity. A creativity that's no longer constrained by the nervous energy of the personal identity. bright, lucid awareness. Brighten the mind without pushing. It's an allowing. So now to practice, to hold this view throughout our lives. Maybe do a little bit of deliberate mind wandering. So allowing to stay open, the wide open perspective. Well, maybe imagining, maybe close your eyes. Placing your awareness also in your heart area, yet observed from the boundless field. Dual perspective. Feeling into that tingle in your heart again. The sweet wish for happiness. Allowing even the wish for happiness to kind of dissolve and just imagining maybe rays of light emitting from your heart in all directions. So your heart and its compassionate rays are suspended in the vast radiant space, the clear light heart. Natural breath. Notice you can create and manifest that clear light heart against the expanse of infinite space, bright awareness space. We can hold the view of infinite vast spacious openness and simultaneous free flow of loving heart light. In this boundless sphere of being, the heart spreads its wings like an eagle floating in space, shining light. The innate goodness of your heart, free from its limiting beliefs. playful. Don't allow any fear or difficult mind states to get in the way of your playful hearts. Be free. Let's take a breath together if you wish. Mouth open. Let all visualization fade. Return to the boundless view. Unchanging. Always right with us. My freedom can't be found anywhere but within. Yet a within without a without. Everything within. Be free, be free. And as always, on behalf of all beings, thank you so much for your beautiful practice. Amazing. Let's give away everything that we apparently acquired. Dedication. And in gratitude for a long tradition, Gewadi nudu dak dzokpa chempo duk yornye do achikyang malupa dei sala gopar shok. Through this virtue, may we swiftly realize and fully embody the natural great perfection within, and that will bring all without exception to its complete loving realization. Jung chup sem chok rinpoche, ma ke pa nang ke gyurchik, kie pa nyam par me pa haryang, gong ne gong du palwa shok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn and shine in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May all beings everywhere, with whom we're inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, happy, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all realms of existence, an end to war, violence, poverty, injustice, and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one family, heart to heart, all the way home. Thank you so much. Amazing, beautiful. Good to see you all. Thank you for holding everyone so lovingly. If you're moving on to your day, have a beautiful day. Some of us stick around for a few minutes. and kind of compare notes on how we hold our hearts in our lives and in our practice. So if anything came up today, please share. There's not a word that will come out of your mouth that is not experienced by any of us, and yet not always realized. So whatever you share is very healing. And in the meantime, we sit here still, radiantly.
So I'll say something.
Yes, please.
There was one little, just like 5 words or 6 words that you said that truly shifted what goes on in my head. And
Yay.
and I and I can't remember the exact words that you said, but it was something to the effect of um, not becoming attached to the creativity in your head. um, Allow it to flow, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't seem to ever have no thoughts, and so that was helpful.
Well, there is space between your thoughts, but so yeah, we,
Yeah.
the emerging creativity or liveliness of mind always moves, but we just don't fall asleep within that, So that's the actual. It's beautiful, um, because when we sit in a contrived meditation of like suppressing thought, that's like another it's another attempt at not really truly being who we are, so it's contrived, but what those were your words, really. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm sure I said something like that, but the way you said it, it sounded fresh to me. So that's why I often, like, when I talk, like, oh my god, I've said this so much, they must be all going, here we go again. But, you just said that, and I'm going like, yeah, I don't think I said it like that, but that's the way it should be said. So that was your creativity right there, right? Like not being attached to the creativity.
Right.
No. Yes, exactly. I don't think I said that. You said that. Maybe I did.
You use the word creativity, but then the
That's
other words around it,
yeah,
I don't recall,
that's
but it was, but
yeah.
the idea was that it, it's okay, just don't get attached to all that. So I think that's what it was about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's the attachment that pulls us mm, off our presence. Yeah. Mhm.
And I get attached a lot, but
Yeah, we all do. But then, that's okay too, because then that's seen also. So now the fact you can report upon that attachment is the healing in itself. So basically, the moment you say, or realize, or notice I'm somewhat attached, you're already not attached in that moment because
mhm.
it's been brought into freedom already, right? So then you go like, yeah, of course I'm attached, or I have like these, you know, survival mechanisms kind of like vibrating over the top, but I have moved it from a subject to an object, right? I'm free from it now. It's still arising. I mean, life is still going to be difficult at times, but we're not contracting in it as much as we were, or actually become completely free from it ultimately, and then there is nothing we can experience uh, that overwhelms us anymore. So yeah, so thank you. That's great.
Thank you.
Anything else coming up?
I'd just like to follow up on what Terry said, in that uh, I became aware through discussions among people who really do know Tibetan well, that there is in Tibetan a word for kind of addictive thought
Mhm.
rather than just thought. And that very often the translations that say, try to avoid thought really mean try to avoid addictive thought.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's the primary addiction in the Western world, the addiction to thought.
I have a question about that.
Mhm.
Is I think they call it an earworm. Like if you have music, it's kind of always in your head, sort of sitting beside other thoughts that are coming through. Is that addictive thought? I mean, I always seem to have music somewhere in there, no matter what else is going on, you know?
Yeah, well, the music is a little different. That's just like a playfulness that I wouldn't be so worried about. Although I've had some themes stuck where I go like, all right then, enough already. But as far as addictive thought, thank you, Mel. Um, yeah. So we become very discerning in our awareness about what is arising from the habitual, contracted, egoic, psychological patterns, and what is the free flow of creativity, right? So it's like, oh yeah, right. So, and then sometimes some of these habitual patterns that I said in the beginning are craftsmanship and virtuosity and the unique expression of who we are in the world, which has acquired certain capacities, right? Or the Buddha on your seat, really, in its manifest loving expression. So, so that wouldn't be an addiction. That is then a skillful tool. So the mind becomes a tool for the expression in the world, and then we become, and then we go like, oh yeah, right. But this part is, of course, the biological survival mechanism and the ego's existential angst of its actual non-existence is something that starts informing thought in unskillful ways, and then it has to repeat it all the time because it can only find its apparent substantiality in the movement. But we start habituating a movement that is loving and creative, and then we can allow, that's why I say allow the mind to move. That's why they say let thoughts come and go, and let everything come and go. So we're letting it come, and then we come like, all right, and then we start going, that thought doesn't need thinking, and then it thinks it anyway. But hey, now I know I'm shining the healing light on it of awareness, and so I'm free of it. And go like, yeah, being pretty repetitive today. But okay then, that's just the way it goes with human minds. But over time, there is a proliferating of positive mind states, which is, and the proliferation of positive mind states in Tibetan is called Sangye, which is translated as the Buddha, right? So it's just a flourishing of loving positive mind states. That's the Buddha. So there we are, being Buddhas is being loving in the world.
With music.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, you can start seeing, is this music transforming when I'm like really present, or is because sometimes it's just kind of a little cycle in the background. I seem to
Sometimes
have.
it's just
Mhm.
in the background, but it's always joyful. So I
Yeah,
don't mind it, but I wondered if it might, was that addictive? So,
especially for people that really love music, then we have like it seems to like there's like a thematic flow through our life. It's like this was the music of this period and that period.
mhm.
So then you start, maybe then you start really, the music we like currently might arise, but it's all. I have noticed that when I go back, when I'm reflecting on something of me in the past, that some of the music that was like active at that time or popular seems to come with it too. So some of us really walk around with a soundtrack, which can be tiring or lovely. It depends. And if it becomes a little overbearing, then you just become really aware of it, and it will dissipate.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you.